All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. And, of course, on the 1010XL app. We are live on Facebook, as we always are. It'll be shared all over the place. There's no doubt about that. We will be all over Spotify and YouTube and all types of things. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel at 1010XL. The Jaguars station is what this show goes on. You can also catch all of my content at TommyMac.net. This show brought to you by my good friends at Team Tommy Mac. I love them all, man. I love them all because they're always there for you when you need them. We'll talk about them a little bit later. I gave a little taste to the early crowd as I was just on Facebook, just representing my wife's business as they celebrate their 10th year in business this week. Go check them out at board30pv.com. Lots to get into. Look, final game of the the preseason. Talk about that. Take a look around the NFL. Some news and notes out there, and then we'll look at our Jags, man. Who's on the bubble? Who's got to have a big night tonight? I've been there, man. It brings back crazy memories. You just, like, thanks, coach. Got to be at my best tonight, or I'm screwed. That's okay. I like the pressure. But it is a big night for a lot of things, and we'll get into it all right here on Catch Up with Tommy Mac. But before we do, let's say hello to my man, Grammage. What's up, Grammage?
Good morning, sir.
How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Wow, that shows what kind of day I've had.
Guess what time I got up today?
6 a.m.
4:15.
Shoo, why?
I don't know why. I just got up. I went to bed, I don't know, 10:30 maybe? 10? Nah, maybe 9:30. Something like that. I watched Anthony Richardson for a little bit. Should have sat him down after the first series. We'd all be thinking, oh, my God, he's going to be incredible. He's going to be incredible. He's going to be incredible. And then he goes back out there and doesn't look incredible. I tell you what, you better get him more like Lamar than anybody else is all I'm going to say. I don't know about from the pocket. I think on occasion he'll be all right, but I get that kid moving, and then if he can stay healthy, we all know the story there. All right, so, Grammage, do we need to announce anything today with this new thing or no? It's not really doing anything for Catching Up with Tommy Mac today, right?
No, not necessarily. Your show doesn't change a whole lot. Lower third, a new and improved lower third.
Okay, nice.
That's cool. A big announcement.
All right.
It says right now I'm seeing you right now. It says Catching Up with Tommy Mac, and underneath presented by Team Tommy Mac. So,
all right, thank you very much. I love that. Beautiful.
So, but that's really about it.
How's the mug looking? You know what? I forgot about a haircut on Wednesday. I was supposed to get my hair cut. My buddy Doug's telling me to get it high and tight. I don't know, man. I don't know. We're coming into the fall. I got to let it grow out just a little bit. All right, so tonight's game, Jag starters are going to play. Word is it's going to be maybe 2 quarters. I don't know if Trevor will play a full 2 quarters, but we'll see how that goes. Atlanta has gone the opposite way. They are not playing a lot of their starters, if any at all.
They're not even playing Michael Penix.
They're not even playing Michael Penix Jr. What is up with that? He didn't play last week.
That is, I don't understand that.
Are you worried about him, or are you you're worried that he's going to look so good that you're going to look bad paying Kirk Cousins $180 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
what is going on? And Kirk's not playing either.
Man,
Kirk hasn't played at all this preseason.
Kirk, I understand because he had the Achilles. You would
agree. You know what you got out of him.
I get that.
Yeah,
but Penix. Based on how it seems they want to do this thing,
yeah,
which is have Kirk be your guy for probably maybe 2 years or so.
Yeah,
let Penix develop, grow, whatever, and then let him be your guy.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you would think Penix would basically play the whole preseason. He'd basically play every snap they could possibly give him.
Yeah,
you know he's your backup already, so it's not like you're letting someone else.
Do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they're? I mean, look, a lot of starters don't play in the preseason. They just don't. They play a little bit. Do they think he could start for this team? Look, he whipped it around his first outing. I mean, he looked good, but he's a rookie. I mean, who knows? He's going against, whoever, but I don't know. It's kind of odd that they're not playing him. So they're either protecting him or maybe he's more than just a backup. You know what I mean? Maybe he's going to play a significant role in their offense. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'd give, you give Kirk all that money, I'd stick with that. But
yeah, because he's not a runner.
No.
Penix is not a –
no.
I mean, even still, that's not really something they do in the league very often, but he's not even like a come in for some packages type of guy.
No, agreed. Agreed. He'd be whipping the ball.
He's a quarterback.
He is.
I mean, he was already not mobile, and he's torn both ACLs in the past.
Yeah, that's right.
This is not a Lamar type of guy that we're talking about.
I think AR's got to be more like Lamar. Richardson. Let me ask you this. After you watched him last night, maybe you didn't watch the whole game, you just watched a little bit, but you worried about the Indianapolis Colts for our Jags? Not anything can happen on Sunday, so let's not get too cocky here, but like after I watched that, I was like, not really. I'm more worried about Houston and then Tennessee, and then Indy would be my last concern right now, within the division anyway.
I've been down on the Colts for all offseason. I think they are arguably the most overrated team in the NFL.
You know what's crazy, though? You know what their record was last year?
They won 9 games? Yeah.
9-8. I mean, same as us.
Look, man.
You know?
I'm going to say it right now, and people are going to think I'm insane. Right now, as it currently stands, until he plays at least close to a full season and shows me something else, Gardner Minshew's a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson right now.
He's starting for Vegas.
And keep in mind, I didn't say he has a higher ceiling than Anthony Richardson. I didn't say that.
Right. But right now, he's better.
Today. If you have to play a football game that you need to win today. Gardner Minshew is a better bet for you than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Well, I think what Joe Flacco did for the Browns last year, they want to copy that, right? So let's bring him to us, and we'll use him, right? So if AR doesn't work out, Flacco's in. He's our insurance policy.
And then you have a top 5 pick getting benched by Joe Flacco. That ain't good.
I know.
Probably not, but here's the thing. It's going to work out for them fine.
Yeah.
I'm very cynical on Anthony Richardson because of what I saw in college.
No, I know. He's still young, though.
It's probably going to not be a decision they're going to have to forcibly make because I don't trust him to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Give it the first 5 games of the season.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll be out for the season. I can almost guarantee he'll have some type of nick or bruise keeping him out for. Yep. And then what's going to happen is Flacco's going to come in. He's going to be better.
Yep.
Because he's just a more efficient passer, knows what to do with the ball, and they can run their offense.
Yep.
And then they're going to act like Richardson's injury is worse than it was.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he needs surgery. We don't know.
You had to have known he was a big-time project, though, right?
Of course
you had to have known.
Of course they did.
You're not expecting him to be a guy. And especially when he got hurt. What did he play, 5 games last year?
Yeah.
Right? Did okay, but then he got hurt, and then he was done for the year. So.
But if that's the case, then why did they draft him to be the immediate starter?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why didn't they do – I mean, that franchise is obsessed with picking up old, washed-up free agent quarterbacks.
Yep.
Why not go get the same version of what you got with Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, whatever, and then let him be the guy for 2 years, and then let Anthony set it?
Yeah.
Weird situation to me.
9-8 last year, so
I feel like the Titans are going to be a bigger threat than the Colts.
I do too.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, Texans and Titans, then the Colts.
Yeah.
But look, we all know how the season can go. It can change in an instant, right? The things we think aren't always the things that are.
Agreed.
Right? Especially going in. So I'll tell you what. This is what I expect, and it is an expectation. If my starters are playing and their second and third teamers are playing, well, my offense better be efficient. You better go down the field and get me a touchdown, at least one, while Trevor's the quarterback. Outside of that, whatever. I want to see Trevor, my franchise QB, and this offense humming down the field. Rhythm, efficiency, precision, the old line taking care of business, no pressure. That pocket, give him a clean pocket, give those backs some holes. I mean, no excuses. Now, if they don't do that, I'm not going to be like, oh, the sky's falling, it's over. But can we not roll into the regular season feeling good about our offense? Because let me tell you something. Practice doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, no matter what they say. Oh, I mean, I'm listening to Press Taylor talk about how the offensive line has gotten better and better and better through camp. How can you say it? The last time you were in pads, Vita Vea kicked the living crap out of all of them. You don't know if they're going to be any good. You have no idea. But because they look good in practice, they know the calls? What? You're a professional football player. You got to know the calls. You don't get extra credit. I don't know, man. To me, I got to see it. I want to see something out of this team. And by the way, I'm looking at this defensive front going, can we stop the run? Because we haven't. By the way, Tampa's running game ran all over us for the most part. Did you notice that? Anybody? Last week? They did. Those two backs, they had plenty of success against us. What did the Chiefs do against our first team last week? They ran on us. Can we stop the run? I don't know. Who knows? And guess what? Tonight may not show it either. All I know is I want to be ready come week 1 against Miami. And if I got to come back on here over the weekend or on Monday and be like, they went 3 and out 3 times and like got a field goal. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to be like, what in the beep is going on? I don't think that's going to happen, but let's be honest. What I'm asking for, when has that happened? When's the last time that happened? That our I don't know if I want to call it dominate, It's hard to dominate. By the way, second string doesn't mean you can't play football. I don't mean complete domination, but give me a break. If my starters are going against their second and third teamers, I better be going down the field at will and making things happen. Not to say that they're not going to make plays here and there, because they will. But that's the expectation tonight. Man, I hope I see it, Grammage. I hope I do. I mean,
they need...
Again, it's not the end-all sale, you know what I mean? But come on, man, give us something. Give yourselves something. So you're not going into Miami questioning, no matter what you say to the public. I don't believe what anybody says in public. Half of you full of crap anyway. You're not going to tell anybody the truth anyway. You don't have to as a coach. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't tell the media anything. Be like, watch. You can judge me by watching. I don't have to tell you anything. You know what I mean? But I want it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, come on, man. Let's get some momentum going into the year. Maybe they do it.
Let's see the offensive line open up a giant gaping hole for ETN to go get 25.
Or Tank. Both.
Yeah, whoever. But
how about this, Grammage? How about a clean pocket for my quarterback? No pressure up the middle. None. Like that. There's nothing in Trevor's face where he's going to get the ball batted down, or he's not. He's going to get hit, or they're going to hit his arm while he throws. None of that. Give him a clean pocket. Show me you can handle their second string defensive line.
Let me see a play where Trevor gets to go first in the pocket without running away. First read, second read, third read, fourth.
Yeah.
And maybe that takes 4 to. I know the average you get out is 3 seconds. I get all that. But there's a lot of plays where you drop back and it takes 4 to 5 seconds to deliver. That happens a lot.
Yep.
Let me see that a couple of times.
Grammage,
I'll take it a step further. They need to kick their ass.
Yeah.
The first half, the Jaguars should be up by the end of the first half by like double-digit points.
Couple scores.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking of this morning while I was driving in? Because we've been doing this show together for a couple years now. 2022, think about it. Remember, Trevor was struggling for a bit, and then he hit the stride.
First, like, 5 games a season, maybe.
They're clunky and not that very good, right? But then he started getting his stride. And what did we talk about? Doug's getting guys open, and he's making first read throws, right?
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
And guess what? It threw these defenses off, and he had a great – until when? Until the first half against San Diego, the Chargers. And what'd they do? They sat on those routes and had 4
exactly
picks.
Where they wanted to go, yeah.
Right. And then they adjusted and whatnot. But here's the deal. In this offense, my quarterback, if he can't get to number 2 because there's pressure up the middle, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. And every defense knows that. They all know that going in. Like, let's take away his first read. Done. Like that's what if I'm defending Trevor, and I know everybody out there, like you see the big throws, you see all this stuff, and he's good. I know he's good. But he also has struggles. And it's not all him, because a lot of times he doesn't have time to get to number 2 or number 3. And then he tries to do too much. He drops the ball, or he doesn't get out of dodge, or he takes a sack, or whatever. Throws a bad ball because of that pressure. So how are you going to expect this quarterback to run efficiently if he's got to deal with people in his face? And the last time they did anything relatively live with another team, they were in his face constantly. So that's the biggest concern. So how about, kick their ass and go up 2 scores.
I remember last year, and you're right, we've been doing the show through this entire evolution. We've been doing the show since Trevor's been the quarterback.
We have.
Which is kind of crazy to say. But,
yeah.
I remember, I think was it Nick Bosa that was the first person that had ever publicly said, take away Trevor's first read.
That's right, he did last year.
Before the Niners game. And I think at the time, a lot of people took that and ran with the narrative of Trevor can't read a defense. But I think you and I said it on the show, even, that's not necessarily the case. The reason they're saying that is because they know that the interior 3 can't hold up long enough to let Trevor sit in the pocket and get to read number 2, read number 3, read number 4.
Right.
And if by the time the first read's not open, and now I'm 2 to 3 seconds into the play, and I'm Trevor, and I got to bounce because if I sit here, I'm going to get destroyed by a defensive tackle. Well, then, I'm not making the reads because I'm running away.
I'm trying to get out of dodge, trying to do something.
No, Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be able to get to a second read if that's the case.
No, he'd take off and run.
It doesn't have to do with reading a defense necessarily. And there have been times where he struggled with that, but
I don't think it's reading the defense. I think it's the awareness of what the defense is doing. Not just what. Like, I think he knows what coverages they're in. You know what I mean? He knows that stuff. You can't play quarterback at that level without knowing that. I don't think he sees the entire field as well as other quarterbacks do. And I think that's why he's so good at that first read, because he sees it, boom, and lets it rip. And if Doug gets him open, it's a completion. But when they counter that, and then he's got to go to number 2, and then you add the pressure, it's tough. It's very tough. I think it's a combination. But my point is, give him a pocket. Give him a chance. Every quarterback needs a clean pocket. Every quarterback wants a clean pocket. You can give me all this stuff outside the pocket, and that's important, no doubt. But the majority of throws that need to be made are from the pocket and on time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 5, 6, 7, out. I'm talking steps. We can't do that with pressure in your face.
Offensive coordinators and offensive-minded head coaches are not creating plays with the scramble drill in mind. Like, they know the scramble drill is going to happen, and that's why you draft guys like Trevor, because they're great at running away and making great throws, and that's why you draft those guys. But when Doug Peterson and Press Taylor sit down and think about plays that could work against whatever defense, they're not thinking, by the second read, Trevor's going to be sprinting to one side of the field.
Right.
What's in mind is he's still in the pocket.
Yep.
First read got taken away, now he's on to second, 2 and 3. So you're right. I mean, it's not like that's part of the game plan for the interior 3 to get destroyed.
Right.
So
look at AR's touchdown throw last night. That was like his third read. He had time to do it.
Yeah.
He stood right there. It wasn't like he had to move around. Hardly. I mean, he moved maybe a tiny bit, but he didn't have to really move around. Because why? Because they shored up the line of scrimmage and gave their quarterback a chance to make a throw.
Because Anthony Richardson fits in this description with a lot of QBs that are getting drafted super highly in the NFL, and I think Trevor his floor is higher than this, but he's still sort of in this category, and this is what has separated the Mahomes and the Burrows and those guys. All these quarterbacks were drafted super high because their ceiling is super high, right? Because they can do magical things, they're crazy fast, they can throw on the run, big arms, whatever. What separates the guys that are winning the most versus the guys that are struggling is the consistency. Is when that slant is there as my second read, or slants are normally first read, but you get the point. If that curl is there or whatever.
It needs to be.
Money every time.
Yeah.
Money every time.
Listen,
when I got to hit the running back, I hit him right in stride so he can catch the ball and go get me 6 or 7 instead of get tackled right away.
I think Trevor's gotten better with ball placement this camp, but it's got to be better. And that's what you talk about. Every throw has got a spot that you got to put it in to give your guy the chance to make the play. Like those slants, 5 yards up at a 45-degree angle, it can't be on his back hip.
Can't.
Now, if you're getting pressure, that's the only place you could put it. Like there are scenarios if the quarterback's cerebral enough to be like, all right, he's going to get killed. The safety sit down. I'm going to hit him on his back shoulder. He'll make the catch, and he won't take a big shot. That kind of stuff. But for the most part, you got to put that out front so he can go make a play. Those out patterns, right? You look at now that could have been miscommunication last night with the tight end and AR, right? AR threw it to one spot. The tight end went the other way. He maybe should have sat down. I don't know. Whatever. That could have been a little bit miscommunication. But you got to put that in the right spot, or they're going to take it away from you. And it's every deep outside, down the field, outside, on the sideline, in the middle of the field, out in front. And by the way, I know one caller called in. They want to see a big splash play by Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Go down the middle. Take a deep shot down
We've seen it a few times in practice now.
We have.
Brian Thomas was, as bad as the O-line was against the Bucs, Brian Thomas was incredible.
I think their skill guys did really well.
Their skill guys
against
objectively, in their week of practice, if you're keeping score, the skill guys won.
Yeah.
The skill guys beat the Bucs.
I agree.
The offensive line lost badly.
Yeah.
Lost badly.
Yeah.
Because the day where there's no pads, that doesn't count.
Right.
The one day they went live, we've already complained about this. The one day they went live and actually hit each other, the D line of the Bucs absolutely slaughtered our interior three. It was bad.
It was very bad.
Back to really quickly with the ball placement thing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the year that the Steelers beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, where he put the final throws that you're talking about?
The final throw was incredible, but that entire season, because Santonio Holmes was unbelievable that year.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger and Santonio Holmes had this route that they would run. It was like a slant, and they'd run on a lot of like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. They'd run this little slant route that was like a money 5 or 6 to keep the chains moving. But Ben Roethlisberger got to a point where he would hit Santonio Holmes so perfectly in stride that what helped make their offense really explosive is that little slant play would a lot of times turn into Santonio Holmes slips one tackle, 45-yard touchdown.
Right.
60-yard,
no,
whatever.
Right.
Because if you've already beaten the corner and then you make one safety miss, you're to the crib.
Right.
I think Trevor is accurate, but he doesn't always hit him right in stride like that. He and Kirk, I think, have that chemistry.
Yeah.
Other guys, that next level is let my guy go be one of the best receivers in the league because I'm hitting him and giving him a chance to beat everybody.
Yeah. I mean, look, it ain't just Trevor. I mean, Mac missed Cooks on that crosser. He actually started on one side, but he went in and then out.
Cook still needs to catch that, in my opinion, though.
I thought that was pretty high. The one that he threw right in his basket,
that's what I'm thinking of.
No,
Sorry,
he's got to catch it. I'm talking the one
up.
before where it was kind of going towards the south end zone. If he hit him in stride, if Mac would have hit him in stride, that would have been a huge play. Might have been a touchdown, but nonetheless. So that's what I want to see tonight, man. Just come on, man. Like, I don't want to come back here next week and hear, oh, gosh, please, not all the excuses, because that's all you're going to get. You're going to get.
It's preseason.
Yeah, they didn't show it all. Maybe
they're running vanilla offense.
Blah, blah,
oh,
blah,
my God.
Blah, blah.
No, I agree. That
I
stuff.
don't want to hear that.
That's a telltale sign that you might be in trouble for the season when you hear stuff like that. It's just preseason, whatever.
Yeah, we'll make it
that
work.
stuff drives me crazy. Because you know what that means? When people say, well, we haven't shown everything. That means your guys are just getting beat in their mano-a-mano matchups. And when you're playing against the Falcons' backups, you better win mano-a-mano matchups.
That's right.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, and there's no game planning, which I get. But still, man, look, again, even if it was 1 versus 1s, I'd want to see, some production, man. Like, this is our year. One of the years. This is our window starting to be there. So, nonetheless. All right, let's take a look around the National Football League. My first note was, nice hair, Joe. Did you hear what he said about his hair during what's with these quarterbacks and their hair? Did you hear what he live TV, like, hey, Joe, tell us about your hair. And he's
the
like,
Slim Shady hair?
Yeah, when it grows out, I'm going to have nice frosted tips. I think it's going to look good. I was like, what? You did not just say that. Trevor was asked what kind of hair products he uses, and he answered. You're like, what? What the heck is going on? But, yeah, nice hair, Joe. I like Joe. He hasn't been healthy. Who has interviewed him? Man, I mean, he hasn't been healthy like 4 years in a row. I don't think he's played a full season, has he? He's had the wrist. He's had the
year they went to the Super Bowl, they played a full season, but that was
3 years ago.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, so maybe not 4 or 5 years, but 3 years, yeah.
But the year before, he was out, too.
Right.
Year before, he had the knee. He's had, no, you're right. You're right.
So he's never really had, but he is talented, no doubt about that. It's really weird. I didn't have it as a note, but this holding in stuff, like Jamar Chase is doing. You're not a holdout. You're a hold in. So do they not? They don't fine you, I guess.
Because you're there physically.
You're there, so they can't fine you. Is that what it means?
Yeah, pretty much.
You go to meetings, but you don't practice. You just kind of hang around.
Yeah.
And everybody knows you're just waiting for money. I mean, listen, at least he's getting mental reps. I guess that's a good thing, but that just seems odd. Either hold out or don't. I'm surprised the NFL lets him do the hold-in just to avoid the fines.
Well, this is kind of a new thing, so I'm sure.
They found a loophole in the CBA.
Yeah, that loophole is getting closed next year. You best believe.
You best believe
that next year, when they come out with new rules and all that, there's gonna be some type of byline for that if you don't if you don't actually compete in practice when you're not injured.
Yeah.
But then it's going to become, my back hurts.
Right.
So I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, right.
This is always a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. To me, that's kind of a distraction. I wouldn't want him there. I'd want him there happy and, get his new contract.
But if we know he's waiting for a new contract, just don't be here in the first place.
Just don't.
Yeah,
Because everyone knows
I
you're
agree
waiting
with
for it, and you're kind of messing things up. I don't know. That's the way I would look at that. How about Washington sending Jahan Dotson to Philly? They send the 22 first rounder along with a 2025 fifth round pick for a third rounder and 2 7s in next year's draft. I don't know, man. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I mean, first round pick 2 years ago, and you're getting rid of him. Something's amok.
The Eagles, I mean, Howie Roseman's made a living off of doing this, man.
Yeah.
And it always works out for them.
What a nice number 3. Who do they got? Devontae Smith and
A.J. Brown.
And A.J. Brown.
Another number 3 is Jahan Dotson.
That's
and by the way, they've got this guy in the backfield named Saquon.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? Maybe they make a run. And Jaden Daniels been named the starter. Oh, that's Philly. You're talking about Philly. Washington, Jaden Daniels got named the starter.
Yeah.
No, Saquon, right, yeah, with Philly. That's going to be a beast.
I mean, they do this all the time.
Yeah.
They pretty much they do what the Saints, I think, were attempting to do with the cap, but, the Saints just didn't do it as well. The Eagles have this, they're so good at, getting the short spurt guys to always make sure they have, one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. But it's never a long commitment, so they're never in cap hell like the Saints were.
Jalen's got to have a big year. Word last year and this offseason was he wasn't putting in that time that he had to put in. He's more worried about his brand and marketing and all this stuff. And he even said it himself. There were distractions last year. So hopefully, for Philly, because Sirianni's going to, if they don't have a good year this year, Sirianni's at least on the hot seat, maybe gone.
I think he might be done because
he might be fired.
I think when you're an unlikable coach, but you win, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Where it matters if you're likable or unlikable is if you're kind of on the fence, in the gray. I think Doug Marrone got an extra year or two being here because he was a good guy that everyone liked.
Yeah.
And then the bottom really fell out in 2020, obviously, but they weren't horrendous before that.
Right.
They disappointed, but because if he had been a jerk like Sirianni, he'd have been. Sirianni's a jerk, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of his.
Yeah. He doesn't look very friendly with his guys, but
I think he's a guy that inherited and still has one of the best rosters in football.
Yeah.
And he's set up to succeed, which doesn't mean he didn't have to do anything. He still does, but I think he kind of talks sometimes like he's Belichick or so, like he's really won something.
Right.
And I mean, they went to the one Super Bowl,
I know.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of his.
Yet. It's interesting with these coaches because with Tua coming out and Brian Flores being really hard on him and kind of demean. That's that old school knock him down to build him back up, which I never really agreed with. I don't know why you got to do that. I understand being hard on your rookie QB. I don't understand beating him down. At least that's what Tua said he was doing. So you sit and you look at that, and then you see. Did you see the clips of the special teams coordinator yelling at his guys while they're watching film? Did you see that? It is absolutely incredible.
No.
So he's because it's two contrasts, right? Because I agree, you can't sit there and scream at guys all day long. You can't belittle them. You can't demean them, right? They're grown men. They're not going to respond very well to that, right? Now, some guys, you could beat on me all you want. I didn't care. I mean, if it got physical, then I'd fight you back. But I'm just saying, you could yell at me all you want as a coach. That never bothered me. I knew if I screwed up before you even started yelling at me. You know what I mean? So yelling at me was no big deal. But some guys aren't into it. But this special teams coordinator, so he's got the plays on the screen, and he's got his little light in his hand, and he's going, and I can't remember the guy's name. So he's shows the play. Guy misses a block on punt team. Just totally misses. Guy runs free into his punter. He goes, stop the tape. So-and-so, push the light right on him. He goes, what in the hell you think you're doing? Are you a starter? No, sir, I'm not. Are you an all-star? No, sir, I'm not. Are you a pro bowler? No, sir, I'm not. What do you think? You're going to make the team watching the game from the bench? You got to play. What kind of crap is this? He gets another guy. I was loafing on the play. And he's like, and who's this? Get him. Where's he? Who do you think you are? You think you're going to make this? I mean, he just ripped these guys to shreds. And you know what? They weren't giving great effort. So it's just interesting today. Like, the old school, nobody gave a crap if the coach smacked you upside the head, grabbed your face mask, did any kind of stuff. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it was. Today is totally different. You can barely yell at some guys. But it's interesting how there's still some of it, and then you look at, Tua and the Flores situation. That's a little bit too much. But if you go watch that tape of that coach calling these guys out, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense, man. But he was speaking truth. He wasn't, like, attacking them because he didn't like him. He's like, well, okay, maybe take the yelling out of it. But he's sitting there going, how do you think you're making this team? You're not a starter. You're a backup. And you don't make plays on special. You're not going to make this team. It's simple as everybody that's not a starter has either got to have a specialty role or do really well in special teams, or you're not on the team. We all know this, right? Anyway, I just thought it was pretty interesting that he was ripping their head off.
A couple things. First, when it comes to that kind of stuff, everyone will tell you that they want you to be honest with them. Not everybody actually means that.
Yeah.
Not everybody actually wants you to be honest with them. Some people want the sunshine and rainbows,
right.
The second and more important thing is, like, old school hard coaching versus being an asshole, basically.
Right.
All depends on is what you're saying and how you're doing it constructive or destructive. Really,
right.
that's really what we're talking about.
Yep.
Are your words destructive and just making Tua feel bad about himself and just making him a worse quarterback because he has no confidence? Or are you constructively making him better at the things he's not good at?
Yeah.
I think maybe the best example of someone who coached really hard but was constructive is your coach here in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Tom Coughlin, there's a million stories about how hard of a coach he was. I've never heard something like the Flores thing where he's making guys feel like that.
No.
Because Coughlin, when he was coaching you guys hard, it's because he knew that you guys needed to have X, Y, and Z buttoned up for you guys to be the best version.
He also knew we could take it. He brought in guys that could take that kind of coach. And that, I'm telling you, that's the key to the success in the NFL, that you got players that can take. It's like, look, flip it around to Doug. Doug's not a yeller. He's not much of he's a little bit of a disciplinarian, but not much. But his belief is the players will do it. The players will do it. They're grown men. They're professionals. They'll do it. They'll police the locker room. They'll handle the stuff that needs to be handled. Well, guess what? You got to have the right players for that.
Yeah.
You got to have a lot of veterans that played a long time that know what the deal is. And no, I don't need you. I don't need you breathing down my neck. I already know what I'm doing.
And you gotta be singing the same sheet of music as the front office.
Right.
To know that's who you want.
Yeah.
That one thing I will say with Doug and Trent being together, one thing they've always done since Doug has been the coach is they've always made sure it's always seemed like in every room, whether he's a starter or not, they've always had like a veteran presence.
Yeah.
And based on who they've signed, free agency or what have you, they've always had a couple of guys. You didn't feel like the entire team was just full of kids.
Right.
In 2021, it felt like they just had children out there.
Yeah, a lot of young guys,
Very, very, very little real NFL experience. That changed pretty quickly when Doug came in.
Yeah.
In the receiver room, you had Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
Marvin has been around the league for forever.
Yeah.
Right? Trevor is the starter.
Yep.
You bring in Beathard, who's been in the league for a while.
Yep.
I guess Beathard was already here.
I will say this offseason and what they did in camp, they delivered. They wanted to be physical. They wanted physical guys. They wanted tougher guys. I think they've done that.
I don't know if they've done it enough on the O-line.
Maybe not on the O-line.
They did it with Morris, which is good.
Yeah.
They
did it with Mason Smith. He's going to be good.
Yeah. The D-line, absolutely.
What do you think about Jordan Jefferson? You think, is he a lock? Or does he have to have a big night tonight?
I think he's a lock. To make the team, I think he's a lock.
Because of the fourth-round status? Or you just think he's got a lot of upside?
Fourth-round status.
Okay.
It's the politics. So I think this regime has not shown that they'll cut a guy they invested a fourth-round pick in.
Yeah.
I think.
So Fortner can't be gone then?
No. Fortner's on the team. 100%.
Yeah. Wild.
I just think,
Wild.
that's atypical in general of front offices in the NFL, and this front office has just never. I've not seen them cut a rookie fourth rounder before.
Yeah.
I've not seen them cut I don't think I've seen him cut a 5th rounder before.
Yeah.
I think like 5th round and in, you're kind of guaranteed at least one season.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're going to talk about bubble players in just a minute. Want to wrap it up with KC's Creed Humphrey, highest paid center. 4 years, $72 million, $50 million guaranteed. Very good center. I'm one of the best, if not the best in the league. Let me ask you this. After the 5 key positions, quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, I just say 4. All right? Those are the main. You got to have really good players.
Corner, left tackle, receiver, corner.
Quarter,
left tackle, receiver, corner. Yeah.
Right? Is center next? Like the importance, because you're running the show on the offense, and you got to be physical. You know what I mean? Like
generally speaking,
you don't have a good center. Can you have a good line?
Generally speaking, or the Jaguars? Just generally speaking.
No, generally speaking.
Yeah. Give me a defensive end before that, and then I'll say center.
Didn't I say pass rusher? That's one of the top 5. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Then outside of that,
center,
yeah. I'd say
so.
I
forgot pass rusher. The pass rusher is very important.
If we were doing this show 15 years ago, I would have said running back.
Mm-hmm.
Today,
defensive tackle.
Today, I'd say center, because not only do they contribute to that physicality and that ability to block in the middle and all that kind of stuff, but they also have that added bonus to put them above a guard of their relationship with the quarterback.
Yeah,
snapping
very
the ball.
Important position. That's why I thought. Very important position. All right, and we'll wrap it up around the NFL. A.J. Terrell, who won't see play tonight, but he's on the Atlanta Falcons. Second highest paid corner, 4-year, $81 million, almost $66 million in guarantees. He had a really good rookie year, but other than that, he hasn't really had a great year. I know this is really conspiracy, and I'm half kidding, but are the owners doing some kind of money laundering, you think? You know what I mean? They're giving, guys that, A.J. Terrell's. Is he the second best corner in the league?
No, it's just the market being up for it. Whatever.
$66 million in guaranteed money for a guy's had one good year.
What I think it is, and this is
giving it away.
What I think it is, and this has been to the players' benefit, is the hold in thing and everything we were just talking about with Jamar Chase. I think these owners in front office, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with
pay him.
They don't want to deal with drama
like
that.
With,
yeah,
right.
They don't want to deal with crap like that. Like if they got a guy, but I also think owners.
How do you like to be San Fran? You got Williams, the tackle who's holding out, and Ayuk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And both of them want to get paid top dollar.
But I think what's happened, too, is with this pattern we've seen of the cap aggressively going up, this happened after COVID because COVID halted things for a while, and now that they're almost there, but I think they're still playing some catch-up with that.
Yeah.
With the cap just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up pretty rapidly every year, the GMs and the owners are understanding that it doesn't benefit them now to wait.
Yeah.
Versus back before then, waiting could if they were willing to show that they were somewhat willing to move on from this player, then it gave them a little bit of leverage in negotiation.
Right.
Versus right now, it doesn't benefit them to wait because all that's going to change next year is the cap goes higher and they want even more.
Right.
So
right. Well, and with the cap being so high, you look at the Jags, they're still got $30 million in cap money, I think. $20 million this year.
Well, it's because
they
all
put out. Thinking about how much they put out. You know what I'm saying?
But the 3 big contracts they did are all backloaded deals.
Yeah, that's true.
So they saved
true.
by signing Trevor, Josh, and Tyson. They saved a lot of money on the front end.
Right.
Which is all the more reason, in my opinion, go get another guard.
Yeah.
Go get 2 more guards.
Yeah, go get 2 more guards.
Go get another. Yeah. If Brenton Strange isn't doing it for you, go get another tight end.
Yeah. I like him. I think the tight ends are good.
And I understand.
I know
but you hear what I'm saying though. Go do what Philly's doing. Yeah. I for the life of me can't understand why they wouldn't try to follow that model, because the Jaguars are a team that fit into a category of a lot of teams where they have a baseline, I think, like a nucleus of a roster that you like.
Yep.
They've got the quarterback, they've got the edge rusher, they've got other guys around their roster. They feel you feel like this is a respectable roster in the league.
Yep.
And you know that these contracts are going to hit you pretty hard in 3-4 years. The window is now.
Yeah.
Go get the guys that take you from a B+ roster to an A or an A+ roster.
Well, let me tell you something right now. If anything happens to our starting guards,
we're in trouble.
I'm not sold on any of them. I'm not. I think Blake Hance is okay. I don't think Cooper. I think Cooper's Hodges is good against the run, but he really struggled against the pass last week. And I'm not just talking the sack. Go watch the tape. There's 3 or 4 times he got beat. He got beat, and one time he was really out of position. It was kind of strange. I'm not saying I don't like the guy. I'm not saying he shouldn't make the team, but I don't know, man. I think you got to upgrade. Because these guards get hurt. I mean, what are you going to do? You know, you haven't tried anybody else at guard. I would have tried Van Lonen at guard. I would have. That's just me. I know Fortner tried a little bit of guard during practice, but not in the game. Williams played a little bit of Darrell Williams, the center, number 60. He played a little bit of guard during practice, but not in the game. I don't know. How do you feel about Blake Hance? Are you like, right? I don't either. I'm like, he's okay. Like, he's still. I don't think. I'll put it to you this way. Put a stud defensive tackle up on Cooper Hodges. I don't think he can handle him.
He's in trouble.
I don't think he
He's
can
in big
handle
trouble.
him.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think Ezra can either. I think Sheriff kind of can, but, you know, last year wasn't a very good year. But I'm still holding out hope for Morse and Sheriff to have big years together. They're both kind of the same age. It's like kind of a last hurrah. Like, come on, let's, holding each other accountable, getting the whole line together. You know, it's got to matter to them. I think it does. At least for sure. Look, I know they didn't do well against Tampa, but Sheriff came to play this camp. I mean, he was very physical all camp long. They asked him to be, and he's been that. So I know he's not always, right on point, but I don't know, man. These backups worry me. They do. They sure do. Because look, Foster ain't playing guard. He's not. He's not even ready to play tackle. Javon Foster's not ready to even play tackle.
We saw last year Walker Little's not a very good guard.
He's not a guard. He's a left tackle, maybe.
It's the issue depth-wise, I think, that they have right now is they have a surplus of tackles and not enough guards.
Yeah.
And I think their line of thinking is the backup guys, you swing them around a little bit, you maybe plug one in if you need to or what have you. That didn't work last year.
No.
That was a disaster when they did that last year.
No, and all we heard during the season, well, this 5 never played together. So, they play one game together. So, but that don't mean anything.
That was the most. That's the most frustrated I've been with Doug since he was the coach when he said that line.
Yeah.
If you think about it, dude, go look around the league, man.
I think the first frustrating thing we agreed on when he didn't go get a nose tackle in 2022. Remember that? You're like, Doug, what are you doing? Like, oh, we don't need him. Like, you don't need him. Talking about it. If you haven't had one since.
I mean, it was just crazy to me. Like, for him to say that.
Mm-hmm.
was so aggravating because it's like, man, you got teams that were in the playoffs starting backup linemen in different positions and doing just fine.
Yeah.
That's not a good enough excuse, man. Yeah. I need a better excuse than that.
I don't want any excuse.
I mean, I agree, but
that's what we heard, injury and that. Injuries and that. And they didn't play together.
And listen,
that's why tonight's important to me.
To play devil's advocate and be as fair as possible, there were a couple games in the back half of the season where, like, they were really trotting out a ragtag line. They really had the bad injury bug on the offensive line. But for the most part, when he's talking about, like, one starter missing, Cam Robinson.
Right.
And it's like, first of all, you knew he was going to be suspended first 4 games, so you don't get a pass for that.
Right.
You had all offseason to prepare for that.
That's right.
And secondly, this guy's injury prone. This guy gets hurt a lot.
Yep.
Brandon Sheriff is old.
Yep.
He gets hurt a lot. Like, that stuff can't come as a surprise. You got to be better prepared for that. They got to have better depth than what they've had.
Yeah.
They despereately need to go sign some type of guard.
Yeah.
Still.
I agree. And again, it doesn't look like they're going to do it, but I'd try number 70 at guard. I would. I think Van Lonen. I think most right tackles can play guard. They're maulers. Not that hard to play guard. I mean, guard, if you look at it, guards, and no disrespect to the guards out there, but typically you're the least athletic out there. And when it comes to the whole, and I'm not just saying here, I'm saying in general, right? Your tackles are typically more athletic than the guards, or the guards would be playing tackle.
But Leon has always said it's about like the size, and you got to have.
You got to have some girth. You got to have some girth.
He always says you got to have the ass.
Yeah, you do.
You got to have the lower body and the girth, and you got to be more stout.
Ezra doesn't have that at all.
Which is concerning. This is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. And what did Doug say? He's more of a tackle and a guard and tackles bar.
I mean, what?
Right.
That was maybe the second most.
Yeah, and then you're playing.
He's on the McAfee show while the news breaks, and they of course asked him about it. The biggest concern about this line is they're not big and physical enough, and they don't push people around enough. They trade for Ezra Cleveland. Oh, what do you think about Ezra Cleveland? Well, he's a guard that's built like a tackle.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, why'd you grab him?
What?
Because of his athleticism. That's why. They want him athletic. We'll see if it all shakes down, but I got to see something tonight. All right, let's get into the on-the-bubble players for the last preseason game. I lived it firsthand, man. I know what they're going through, and it's exciting, but a tough time as well. Before I do, I want to introduce you to, once again, Team Tommy Mack, a group of businesses that I personally endorse. Not just on this show, on other shows, social media, out in the streets. They are my team, and I am proud to have them, and they're always there for you when you need them, whether it's getting out of jail. Look, man, your friends, you have a good time, things happen, you get in trouble, you get thrown in the clink. Chris Rusero's bail bonds, they get you out in a blink. I'm telling you, I've seen it firsthand. They helped a family friend of ours, and in a time of darkness, it was a bright, shining light. Make sure you call them. Don't call them. Put this number in your phone, 904-822-2245. You will thank me later, and hopefully you never need it. But if you do, it's right there. Carpet Man Flooring, more than just LVP, baby. It's all types of flooring at the highest quality and the lowest prices. Carpet, travertine, tile, hardwood, and luxury vinyl planking. 2 great locations in Orange Park and on St. John's Bluff near Craig Airfield. Go check out their warehouses, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. They'll take care of all your trash. They'll refurbish it as best they can, and then they'll give it to military families in need. They're military-owned and operated as well, as we all know. They also have a hauling business, contractors, builders. You need those big 30 yachts, the big 30 yachts out there to put all your construction debris. Well, J-Dog has those for you to rent as well. They'll bring it, let you fill it up, take it away from you. They do a great job. 844-GET-J-Dog. That's their number, 844-GET-J-Dog. And dog is not slang, D-O-G. All right? All right, very good. Michael Nicholson, State Farm Agency. He's been my agent for over 20 years. Give a shot to be yours, man. I'm personal or business, 24/7 care. Great team, always there when you need him. Takes care of you when the call comes in. He is fantastic. That's why I've been with him for so long. I know rates are going up. There's some things you can't control as an agent, but the customer service is there every single time. Home, auto, life, and supplemental health. Michael Nicholson, State Farm Agency, part of Team Tommy Mack. Code Ninjas, they got a summer bash, start of school summer bash coming in Ponte Vedra, coming up the last weekend of August. Make sure you get into that, and make sure you get your kids. Look, extracurricular activity. Maybe they play sports, maybe they don't. Maybe they learn code and play sports. Maybe they play an instrument, or maybe they play an instrument and learn coding and learn security and learn how to build games. Hey, look, we know where technology is going. It's going through the roof. Get our kids ready and get them ready at Code Ninjas with 4 great locations all throughout the First Coast. Family Tradition Specialty Foods, home of Kogan and Joe's Hot Sauces. You know, I told you we had that power surge out at the house. We've had some workers in the house. Yesterday, I was able to give away a bottle of each sauce, Coconut Joe's. My favorite is Sriracha. Got a new ghost pepper coming out in about 10 days. Just wait for that. Maybe less than 10 days. That'll be coming out. And I was also to give them Azar sausage. What a nice little package. And hey, thanks for your hard work. I offer them water, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, hey, let me give you a little care package. A couple sausages, a couple of the hot sauces. And, man, they were absolutely fantastic. Either one of those guys, they're on Team Tommy Mack, and they're fantastic. Azar Sausage, Winn-Dixie, and other local grocers, included Native Son, the best sausage you'll ever have. We enjoy it all the time in my house. And, of course, Family Tradition Specialty Foods.com. Put in pound Team Tommy Mack in the discount code and get a BOGO free, man. Absolutely. All right, Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. I had Lance Montgomery on my Horse's Mouth show yesterday, doing great on the development side. They've got that. They've got industrial, office, retail, commercial. They're the best. They are the best. They've been together since 1993. Stay together. The principals have been together since 1993. And I tell you what, they know the market better than anybody. They do more deals than anybody. They're absolutely fantastic. 904-399-5222 for Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. Salt Air Inn and Suites Boutique Hotel out there at the beach. I've been talking about them for a while. 4 blocks from the beach, 2 blocks from all the fun, all the bars, restaurants, and shops right there at the town center, or the corner, as us locals call it. Concierge service right there, 4 blocks from the ocean. Fantastic spot. Make sure you check them out as well. And I want to announce, of course, I've announced them already, but it is Freedom Finance and my friend Courtney Myers. Hey, you need any help in the CFO world? He's a fractional CFO. He's a CPA. He can help you with fundraising, help you with any kind of forecasting, get your financial outlook all up and running and straightforward and ready to work for you. Make sure you give Freedom Finance a call, baby, and get on the horn with Courtney Myers. They are great to be a part of Tommy Mac. And, of course, I want to thank 1010XL and remind you to check out TommyMac.net for all of my media content, if you will. Thank you very much. All right, on the bubble, real quick, because I know we got to wrap up here. Let's. I'm going to go with. We'll play a little game. We'll play a little game. You okay with playing a little game? 5-minute game.
How much money on
BS. BS.
Love it.
Get some BS. All right, on the bubble, who makes it? You tell me.
All right.
Running back: Jalen Jackson, Dearness Johnson.
Dearness Johnson.
What if Jalen has a big night tonight? Doesn't matter?
Dearness Johnson.
Okay. Elijah Cooks, Tim Jones, Austin Trammell.
I get one. Tim Jones.
If they keep another one.
Elijah Cooks.
Interesting. You don't think Austin has a shot at all?
I think
it's just hard to put him anywhere. I know.
This staff, to me, always errs on the side of familiarity, in my opinion.
I love Elijah. I do like him as a prospect, but, man, the potential's, you know what I mean? You got chances to make plays. You got to make plays. Now, tonight's a new night. Maybe it's a big night tonight, and we just see what we all been waiting to see. Well, but eventually that potential's got to match, is what I'm saying.
My problem is this happens every couple of years. There's a new guy like this, and maybe a couple, that this time of year, training camp time, preseason time, they're this huge topic of conversation, and the season starts, we never hear from him. That's Elijah Cooks right now.
Yeah.
We're going to be in week 9 and forget he exists.
Yeah.
I don't mean...
No, I know.
You get what I'm saying?
I know. Well, you saw him out there last year a little bit, but Trevor barely went to him. Went to him that one time, and he dropped the ball, but
yeah,
maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, I think Tim Jones offers them something on special teams, and there's a reason he's been on the roster 2 years running now and probably going to be a third.
Right. Well, and you think about it. Look, they upgraded with Gabe. They upgraded with Devin Duvernay, right? They've got the guys. They don't necessarily need Tim Jones as a wide receiver, right? They need him for special teams.
Correct.
I would think the same for Elijah Cooks, although I just think Elijah, if he could get his together, I think he could be a weapon. I do. That's my personal. All right, let's move on. What about Josiah DeGuara? Do you think he makes it? The tight end from Green Bay they brought in?
No. Because I think Luke Farrell is honestly pretty good.
Yeah, he's a great blocker.
And
this guy's more of an H-back type.
And Brenton Strange is making the roster.
Yeah.
He's his second round pick.
Good call.
And then obviously Ingram. That room's full.
Shatley.
Yes. Yeah.
Makes the 53?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
And Fortner too?
Yeah.
You think Cole Van Lanen's out in your book?
Wow. No, because I think
who are you going to sit?
Shoot, that might be hard, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta pick one or the other. Now Shatley you could put on
Shatley might be practice squad.
Practice squad.
Yeah.
I think Van Lanen, especially after the grade he just got, everyone's checking him out now. You know, he just got the highest grade. You know what I mean? They're all looking at him now.
If you put Van Lanen on practice squad, he's getting snatched.
Yeah.
Shatley, decent chance of him sticking around.
Good. Sutherland, I just don't think there's enough room for him. You know, I got nothing against Luke Fortner, but if he was in a third round, he'd been long gone.
100%.
That's where the politics piss you off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're a player that's trying to make it as a center on this team, and you know you're better than him. You know you are. Your teammates know. But they don't care because you're not the third-round pick and that other guy is, or you're not the second-round pick, or you don't have all this money invested in you. It's not going to happen. That's the dirty politics. Politics are dirty, aren't they? They sure are. They've been lately. They're going to continue to be even more and more. Okay. Defensive line. Tyler Lacey.
Yes, to my chagrin. I'm not a fan of his at all.
I think it says he's outplayed him. Number 90?
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not a fan of Tyler Lacey at all, but I think he's going to make the team.
Do you? I think he goes to practice squad. I think number 90's got a chance. If he has another big net, the guy's been a beast inside. He may not be your starter, but he could be part of that rotation. Miles Cole. He's had a good camp. He's an intriguing prospect, 7th-round pick, man. I like that kid. They may throw him on practice squad, but he may get snatched because he's got some athleticism.
It's still just a numbers issue.
It's crazy. No, I know. That's where this is where, like, people, well, they probably do understand, but this is where it's like, and they're sitting in a room going, man, I really like this kid, but we can't keep him. I really no, coach, you got to rethink. No, I just can't keep him. I can't keep him. Coach, he's better than the other. It doesn't matter. I can't keep him. You know what I mean? Like, those things happen.
What?
They do.
Is Miles Cole, would he play a linebacker or D-end?
More of a D-end.
Yeah. I mean, both rooms, there's just not a lot of numbers.
What about Jordan Jefferson? He's a lock?
Yeah.
Because he's a 4th-round pick?
Yeah.
I wish I would have seen. I think he's going to be good, but you just haven't seen anything. He didn't do much against Tampa. I watched him. I read, I tape it and I watch it. I watch him. I wanted to see if he's doing anything, and he just didn't do that much. Now Mason Smith's doing stuff. He's causing problems. I think I'm starting him over Hamilton. I know a lot of people are like, what? But,
you know who's in trouble? But I don't. Were you going to stick with the D-line for some other guys?
No, let's go D-line. Are you still with D-line, or you got somebody else?
Well, I wanted to say, you know who's in trouble?
All right, well, let me go through the D-line. I think I got him. Or Raymond Johnson, he won't make it, but he may go on practice squad. He had some good rushes. I think Lacey's in danger. I do. I don't look, for the record, I don't want anybody getting cut. I know what it's like to get cut. It sucks. And hopefully you get picked up if you get cut. And if you don't, it sucks even worse because now you don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's who performs better. It's who's got the more upside. It's who fits better. I think Sezzi out of Mayhole has really earned a spot. Now, if he has a big night tonight, to me, it's a no-brainer. I'd take him over Tyler Lacey and get him in my rotation. That's my opinion. Go ahead. What do you got?
You know who's in trouble?
Tell me.
It's 95.
Oh, I agree. But they got to trade him. Not going to cut him. Because they just did his thing, didn't they? I think his cap number's too high. I think that's why they're playing him so much.
To let other teams see?
Yeah. He can still play.
Man.
He can still play, but I think, look, I'll tell you right now.
If Mason Smith is coming on like he is.
No, I know. So my starting 4 right now, call me crazy. Well, it's not that crazy because you know who the 3 are. Eric and then Josh and Trayvon. Yeah. But it's Mason Smith in that 4th spot.
I agree.
I'm telling you right now, I'd put him in there. He's got so much raw ability and talent to be. Like, you'll take a little learning. You know what I mean? He's not going to get knocked on his ass. He's not going to be taken for a ride, that kind of stuff. He may be in the wrong gap from time. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But you ain't moving this kid. This kid is an absolute monster.
And what I love about him is he plays every snap like he's going to get cut if this snap doesn't work out.
I feel like it's more like it's a fist fight for him. Like
I know, which I love.
Yeah.
And every coach ever says this. I'd much rather have to pull you back than have to get on your ass to go.
Yep.
He doesn't loaf at practice, man.
No.
They'll be in the middle of practice, dog day. It's Wednesday. They've been out there for 2 hours and it's hot. He's playing his ass off.
Yeah. Hey, when are cuts, by the way? By Tuesday at 4?
I think so, yeah.
So we may know some by the next time we're on here. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll figure that out.
We're going to have answers on almost all of this.
All right, let's talk linebackers, shall we? So we know who the 4 are, I would imagine, right? Muma, who's had a great camp. You know, I got to tell you, he's really impressed me. I still want, if he's going to play Sam and base, I want to see him cover the tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can do that, but he can play the run, and he's very stout, and I like what I've seen so far. A little kid's going to be a stud. Devin really's been kind of quiet during games. Like, you don't hear his name much, but obviously he's going to be one of the starters, and he's got a lot of talent. Ventrell Miller would be next. I think they like him a lot. The concern is he gets hurt. He gets dinged. You know, he'll make a normal tackle and be like, get dinged up a little bit. You know, your best availability is availability, right? So you can't pick a guy that's going to be hurt, but you're not letting him walk. I wouldn't. He's got too much ability. But then it gets interesting, right? Got Caleb Johnson, they like him as a special teamer, and he had a good camp as a backer overall. The only thing I didn't like was that he got run over by that running back from Kansas City. I'm talking about the kid from UCLA. He got trucked. You can't, it's like a boxer getting knocked out. Like, how do you come back from a knockout? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might come back from it, but you still got your ass knocked out, so there's a little damage there. Like, when you get run over, as a linebacker, that really hurts the ego. I'm just saying it does. All right, but he's here. Look, I thought for so long, what do you do with Abdullah? I think he can play Sam. He's had a good camp. I don't know if I'm keeping him, but just hear me out. So you got those two. Tannemuse is not going to make it. I really like Andrew Parker Jr. I do. I think he can make plays. I don't know if, he'll make it either. But if you keep 6, I think he's the guy, Parker Jr. And you keep Caleb, right? So you would keep Caleb, you would keep Ventrell, and then the starting 3, that's 5. And then my 6 would be Parker Jr. That would be my pick. I don't know how they're going to pick. I don't know. I thought, I got to give Abdullah a little credit because he answered the bell, because he basically got demoted. He's not going to be a 3-4 outside rusher anymore. You got to learn a different position. He's made some plays. I don't know if I'm keeping him on my team.
He's in the same camp as Lacey and Cooks to me.
Yeah, fair.
Sticks around for forever. We always talk about him this part of the year, like if he brings, and then it's week 5 and we forget he exists.
That's true. He's not even out there.
I'm telling you, man, I'm the guy.
Remember, he was not active at all last year. Yasir Abdullah.
I'm the guy that does this, and I think people around me might get annoyed, but I'm the guy that when it's week 6 and Jags are losing by 3 in the third quarter, I'm like, man, Yasir Abdullah is doing a really good job on the bench getting mental reps right now.
No, you're right.
Really glad he was up in Tennessee the last game.
I mean, you're not getting him into the rotation.
No, so what are we doing, in my opinion?
All right, and then finally, 3 guys I wrote down, defensive backs. Trey Flowers probably not going to make it, although I like him.
So.
Campbell had a rough outing at Tavon Campbell. I don't think he's here either. Shame. Eric Hallett's interesting. Eric, they love him on special teams.
He's made plays too.
He's made plays.
I've seen him make plays. guys that just happen to they just figure out their way to be around the ball a lot.
Yeah,
Hallett's around the ball a lot.
Yeah. No, he is, and he's a great special teamer. He is.
Braswell's played well too.
Braswell, yeah, he's locked.
I think so too.
I didn't even have him as a bubble. It's tough, man. I tell you, it's tough, and it really depends where you're at in your career. Like for me, like this night, I was done if I didn't make it. Like it was my 3rd try. I was done. I was not going to keep hanging. I was 25 years old. I failed. Like if I had failed the Jags camp in '95, I wouldn't have come back for another try. I'd have gone and gotten a job. Probably moved back to Boston. Yeah, wild.
No, you just would have started catching up with Tommy Mack early.
In Boston. Yeah, exactly right. But I am so glad I made it and so glad I stayed.
And I would have produced it back then as an idea.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't even a person yet. But.
Exactly. All right, that'll do it. Happy Friday. Good luck to our Jaguars tonight. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. Make sure you go check out TommyMac.net, please. This show will be up there, and so will The Horse's Mouth, of course. Make sure you go subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguar YouTube channel as well, if you would, please. We are growing on the digital side, and it's absolutely fantastic. And between Gus, Mia, Grammage, and the entire team, they do a fantastic job keeping up with the time. So until next time, you stay safe out there and be cool, man. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace and love.